Scorpio, my name's Chandler. This is your general intuitive energy reading for the month of July. Seem to be stumbling on my words a little bit, Scorpio. This is not my energy. Okay. Just so you know, this is your energy. What are you stumbling upon? What are you stumbling through? Right? Do a few of you feel like there's some emotions that are being blocked from being expressed or something? What general energy is Scorpio working with here? I'm interested. You got my attention, okay? We're going to get down to the root of things. We're going to get clarity. Let's hope for 2 cards. Some of you are involved with a Taurus, okay, or Capricorn or Virgo. It's a very earthy sign. However, I do get Taurus as a very fatherly figure, somewhat stubborn, right? It's a little bit of it's a compelling character, the King of Earth. This is coupled with the 5 of Air. Speaking of needing to ground some belief systems, needing to ground some ideas, and maybe even just come out with it. I think this is maybe a part of the last reading that we did in June as well. But we are in Taurus season, okay? So a lot of you are getting the inclination to ground your thoughts, to be more aware of yourself, to come out with it, to speak your truth. And it could be very well someone you're related to, home and family as well, very much associated with this earth element. I want to get more insights, okay? Ooh, okay, wow. Wisdom peeking its head out, but we're going to take the scribe and integrity. Some of you feel compromised within your integral system, within your character. Behind this belief system, it feels like there's been a lot of boundaries that have been set up to resist or to control or to maintain. And the King of Earth energy is coming to you in effort to make things a little bit more neutral, natural, opportunistic, open, intuitive, expansive, natural, right? Trusting. The scribe is talking about maybe even a document, right? Maybe there's some legalities between you and this Taurus. This could be a Taurus woman or a Taurus male, right? Male or female. And you have both of these air elements, which almost every reading within the Cancer season has been almost this identical play, where there's 2 figures and 2 energies that are mirroring each other in separate areas of your life. This issue regards home and family, coming out with it, building relationships, working on trust, dropping the mask, being more authentic, being more available, open, and allowing these energies to assist you. The scribe and integrity talk about some kind of documentation, needing to write down how you feel, what you believe, expressing those truths that are so close to your soul, so close to who you are, and to drop the armor. Drop the armor. And that's something that Scorpios sometimes, struggle with. You guys are very armored and ready for attack or ready to defend at any given moment. And with this full moon in Capricorn, we can see a very earthly element coming to you in order to very clearly point out the blockages that you have, that are in your way of either achieving some level of success or really deepening those relationships, grounding them, putting roots down in areas of life that you can for a long time trust. But with the scribe, this is someone who is appointed. This is someone who is a visionary, right? But he's artistic and consistent. So he's got that very Libra quality. He's cardinal energy. And when this energy comes to you, it prompts you to write things down. It prompts you to express things. Come out with it. Because the things that you're about to say are truth bombs that are true, right? They hold substance. They're meaningful. They're important. They're very philosophical, right? They could even be religious. because our integrity is sometimes intertwined with those things, those aspects of our life. And if our belief system is not matching our integrity, then it's an issue, right? Then we have big things to deal with. But when our religion and our philosophy and our truths and our beliefs align with our integral and sense of moral integrity or our character, then that's when magic happens. It can be that drastic. So you're getting a lot of reflection in those areas. Let's get another idea. Okay, so 10 of air and the child. Simply stating that some of you need to walk into a new chapter of life, but maybe are fearful. The air element and the number 10 symbolizing certain belief systems, certain ideas that are keeping you away from entering in a new existence or a new reality of sorts. And if you're not familiar with my readings, these cards are all energy. These cards are all from the universe, okay? And it's as general as we're going to get as far as energy in the month of July. So as we go, we're going to clarify with my Fountain Tarot cards, but this is a really good start because at least we know some things are shifting, right? There's change upon you as you drop the mask, as you come out with it, as you refine and authenticate your belief systems, and in a realistic way, in a tangible way, in a way that you actually act this way and are this way. It's an embodiment of a totally different energy than you're used to, and it's a little bit more vulnerable, but integral and very strong. Strong like armor, but without the defense mechanisms. The 10 of air symbolizes that there's new belief systems that are taking root in your life, and they could be fairly uncomfortable, but it's going to allow you a lot more expanse along the way. With this 10, we see that there's a closure, an ending, but then there's also a new beginning. So as you make these realizations, you get to decide where you go. You get to decide what kind of momentum, what kind of opportunity, what kind of doorway, what kind of gateway, what kind of vortex, what kind of reality you're creating in the future. And with the child in reverse, it somewhat symbolizes the Fool, right? Because it has this very innocent, optimistic feeling when it comes up, and it's simply saying that you're robbing yourself of that exploration, that time of exploration, or that sense of newness, because you might be afraid of what else that entails. I'm really interested to see what comes up next. This is a really interesting reading so far, Scorp. I wasn't necessarily expecting this kind of information. I thought maybe it might be more directed towards your career, or money. But although this does have some resonance with money, I feel like it's so much more spiritual. It's so much more, you're on a journey of authenticity. And a lot of you are realizing the closed off habits, the blockages, or the ways that you've inhibited yourself through either worry or fear of either self-expression, coming out with some kind of truth, really owning your beliefs, really owning or letting go, right, of that which doesn't suit you, and owning your true path for what it is. Some of you have been in hiding, and it's like time to come out, Scorp, as the Nine of Coins is looking up at us, authenticating the process, resonating with the Empress. So some of you could, in fact, be involved with a Taurus. Maybe there's some documentation between the two of you regarding a child. Maybe there's another avenue or a new beginning opening up for you regarding having a family. And some of you are really coming up against some blockages, some barriers. So let's clarify the King of Earth and the Five of Air. Some grounding ideals, some grounding ideas that will help you enhance your home and family life. However, I see that the Page of Wands comes up very clearly to further clarify that some of you are not taking action. You're delaying this closure that is associated with the Five of Air. Yes, the Five of Air is painful in a ways, because you have to make yourself a little bit more vulnerable. You have to put yourself literally in a place of criticism or, of judgment. But it's for such a deeper purpose than that it actually is very rewarding. And that's why we see it coupled with the King of Earth, because you will be rewarded for this act. It's very brave and it's very honest. And you're actually kind of restructuring your life around it, right? Around this new truth. And as I kind of let go of the page, it spun, it's like, it really does have this feeling like this can happen in whichever way you see fit. It's your choice ultimately. But if you do decide to, take the more authentic option, or, really sink your teeth into what you believe and who you are, it's going to make you feel vulnerable, right? And you may be very new at this. You might really want to do this, but then again, something's stopping you. You're not taking action on this. And you might even be going about it in somewhat of a naive or immature way, since you're not owning up, or since, there's some incohesive energies here, opposing energies, not being on the same page, or not thinking or feeling very deeply about it. It's like you're wanting to keep things on a surface level, and they want to deepen within your life. The Seven of Swords speaks of needing to question someone's intention, right? If you're coming up against some fears or blockages associated with someone's intentions, possibly in a relationship or partnership of sorts, maybe it's even involving a family member that you're wanting to reconcile with, or maybe needing to come out with it to, talk to them, communicate with them, express yourself to them. The Seven of Swords kind of indicates that it won't be well reciprocated, right? You're going to be taken in a different context than you initially mean. It won't be very genuine to this person, which, if it's a Taurus, they're going to see right through anything that's not genuine. They're going to see right through any game or facade. It's got to be real. It's got to be authentic, and you have to be charismatic about whatever you do. Express to them, okay? You've got to believe it. You've got to come out with it in an authentic way. So the Seven of Swords, again, if some of you are coming out with it by saying, something to a Taurus, or maybe you're involved with a Taurus, maybe this is just some really grounded energy that wants to come to you, you've got to be really honest with yourself about it too. Judgment coming up to further clarify here. You're putting yourself in a very vulnerable place with this person potentially, and you just want to know. You want to know, right? You want to know that their intentions are not malicious, or you want them to know that your intentions are not malicious, or you may have had, relationships in the past that have hurt you, and it's this emotional quality. You need to come out with it in order to really express yourself and feel strong and supported. Let's get one more clarity card of the King of Earth and the Five of Air. A lot of thought being put behind this. Okay, again, there's some of you who are very stagnant and stubborn, okay? If you're a Taurus, maybe with some Scorpio in your chart, or if you're involved with an air sign, there's a few people who be cross-watching this in order to know what their lover or partner is thinking. And, I see that they're very unsure. They're hiding behind a mask. They're not being very open and truthful. They're not letting you in. The Ten of Wands and the Chariot speak of an indecisive person, and that's a Libra at its finest, right? I mean, that's what they're known for. So if you're cross-watching for a Scorpio, maybe they have a Libra sign or Earth in their chart, it could go both ways. Somebody in the relationship needs to express themselves and make a decision, because they're putting themselves in a very compromising position with the Ten of Wands. But they realize this, right? And they're attempting to refine it. They're attempting to withdraw their energy. They're no longer pursuing this, or they've made a decision to not put their energy towards it. Basically. And this is a final call. This is a final action. They know they can't keep doing this. And the Chariot's in reverse. It's meaning somebody's making a decision, right? You guys are making a decision whether you should be together or not. And it's cohesive, right? It's something that either you both agree on, or it's presented to you in a way where it doesn't matter what you say. It's happening anyways. So you may feel victimized during this time. You may feel like, wow, this person really just surprised me. They blindsided me, or I had to express myself in a way that blindsided them, and I feel bad for it, but I just had this realization. I just felt like I really needed to do it. And it's this King of Earth energy that's making you do it, because it wants you to see very clearly what could potentially be so much more foundational and long-term than this escapade that you're keeping up with someone. The scribe and integrity. So I really want to know more about the scribe specifically. Okay, let's clarify the scribe, because this has some kind of contractual agreement associated with it as well. Maybe an effort of taking vows, something that really tugs on your heartstrings and your philosophy, that compromises your integrity potentially. And the Seven of Coins kind of is like that, right? Depositing your energy into something that is cultivating either a harvest, right, a craft, a outcome that is desirable, but you not really showing up to it, right? You not being there very consistently, or maybe this other person hasn't been there consistently. Someone's really dropping the ball on their responsibilities. And with the scribe and integrity, this person could be an artist, and their artistry has kind of faltered recently, and they're not making enough money, and it's a real compromise of that integral sense of your work, But again, I do feel like this is very relational in the sense that your work itself hasn't been reaping very many rewards lately, right? And it's maybe even an aspect of you being unhappy in other areas of your life. Ace of Coins. Wow. Oh, what's this? Two of Coins. Very telling. Okay, very telling. Some of you are coming up against a crossroads. You need to make a decision. If it comes down to the Seven of Coins or the Ace of Coins, right, Seven of Coins being in reverse, which one are you going to choose? I think you already know, Scorp, that one of these cards is not long-term. It's not lasting. It might be, artificially pleasing, right, or satisfying for the moment, but long-term, what are you planting? What are you seeding? What are you going to reap? With the Ace of Coins, it's small. It's a small and humble beginning, but it has the biggest potential. It can accumulate something extremely rewarding, but then again, it's like you're holding these two in your hand, hoping that you don't drop one of them, but then everything else around you is drowning. Your face is underwater. It's like, are these two things the most important things? Or is it possible that you can choose one and maybe go without the other for a while? Or, not be so satisfied within the moment to reap a much more rewarding and long-term goal of yours. Interesting. So your integrity is being brought up to question because some of you are involved either with an air sign, or an earth sign, and it might compromise your integrity because you don't want to disappoint, or you don't know if you can trust this person. And it's really, really interesting. I'm wondering who this is. I mean, you guys have to let me know if any of this resonates with you, because this is really getting specific, okay? The Child and 10 of Air. Let's get some clarity on the 10 of Air. What kind of cycle is Scorpio moving into? Page of Swords, it's one of enlightenment. It's one of ideas, visions. You might even be visualizing this right now. You might even be seeing this in your future, knowing there's a gateway, knowing there's something you need to move toward, leaving certain things behind, and it's going to make you feel really new. It's going to make you feel inexperienced, right, or naive sometimes, but nonetheless, you have to move forward. The Knight of Swords is somewhat of an immature person, okay? He's not very experienced. He's not very big and strong like you'd think a knight would be, but he's armored with his intellect. He's armored with what he knows, and he's very quick. He's quick-witted. He's wise in a way, but also just has an intuition that is very keen and instincts that are sharp. So it's kind of asking you to rely on those at this time. To move forward with clarity, you have to maybe be bold and charismatic rather than experienced, or don't fear the experience ahead. Don't fear the outcome, because as the Knight of Swords pops out at us, we were just talking about the Knight of Swords. I said knight, but this is actually the page. Okay, so wow, I didn't even realize. This is telling you this is going to help you evolve. This is going to help nurture your skills. The way that you communicate also is very important. The Page of Swords is an excellent communicator. However, you know, they do get themselves in an intellectual debacle sometimes. You know, they're not experienced enough to just simply put things. They have a tendency to overcomplicate, right? And because the Ten of Air and the Child are in reverse, this may speak of that fear, the fear of overcomplication, of not knowing something ahead of time, of what's behind the veil, or what's just outside of this gateway. Where am I going? Well, this is transformative. This is an effort of maturing you on a soul level. But the Child in reverse, you know, you might need to gradually work up to having a little bit of experience. You're very innocent in this situation because it wasn't until now that you are getting the realizations that you're getting. It wasn't until now that you're able to really see this situation for what it was. Okay, and this may even been a past relationship that you are, you know, healing from, letting down your barriers, realizing certain things about a person that weren't good for you. And it's with this Page of Swords that you need to move forward. New beginning. We go from a 10 to a 1. Page of Swords and 3 of Swords. Okay, a lot of heartbreak. A lot of, you know, words that hurt, you know. And it's even a matter of letting those go at this time. You know, there's a lot of indecisiveness in this reading, so you could be coupled with an air sign. But then again, you know, lots of people are indecisive. I don't want to generalize just because there's a lot of air in this chart, but again, if you or your partner have a lot of air in their chart, this could resonate with them too. The 3 of Swords talks about maybe even having a third-party situation, you know, lying to another person or avoiding that kind of conversation with them because you're afraid of either hurting them, maybe there's children involved, or, you know, them hurting you. And it's these fears. They're holding you back. You're not able to move forward, and it's going to stagnate not only your career and your finances, but your soul and your well-being. You know, a lot of things can be compromised by not going with the flow of energy. So I don't want to see you guys resist. I want to see you guys move forward. It's okay to trust. You know, it's okay to just come out with it and do this thing because it's going to work out for you. There's promising times ahead, Scorp. You know, with the 10 of Air, you wouldn't have gotten this very rainbow heavenly card if it wasn't a potential for you. But it's all a matter of your integrity. It's all a matter of your innocence in this matter. Some of you, you know, wouldn't probably deem yourself as innocent. Some of you may actually have lied or deceived during this time. But if you open up and you tell the truth or you confront these fears of yours, this can pose very promising outcomes. Okay, but the solar eclipse this month in July is really going to point out to us some of the darker sides of our subconscious or our ego, where, you know, a lot of those untruths, you know, issues of loyalty or issues of moral character, you know, issues with finances, lies, and fears. I mean, unfortunately, all those things do help us reflect. They help us refine. They help us fine-tune what it is we need to be working on. And as long as you kind of pay attention, right, to these reoccurring thoughts, you should be able to move forward, you know, fairly easy. But again, if you guys would like a personal reading, don't hesitate to go to my website and check out my readings. I see that some of you could really use the clarity. So I want to get one more card from my Spirit Oracle deck before we go. I think you guys will definitely make the right decision. You just need to make a decision. You're not going to be able to go very much longer holding this position. A place beyond time. So something is coming to you as a divine opportunity. There's a gateway. There's a vortex. This is a threshold of sorts. And this is really interesting when you get caught up in dramas, if you get mixed up with people who tug on your heartstrings or take your energy or compromise your integrity. It's a matter of returning to where your soul is actually going. And that all of this clutter, all of this drama, all of the talk, all of the, you know, gossip or whatever, the conflict, it's only gonna confuse you along the way. I mean, you're still headed in the right direction, but it's like, don't allow this to distract you from your ultimate goal. Don't allow this to take too much of your time along your journey because you have higher heights to reach. You have more important things to do than maybe get caught up in some of the everyday dramas. Don't get so caught up with the everyday drama of life. Close your eyes, focus on your breath, and allow it to carry you into a peaceful space inside your heart, an eternal place beyond time, filled only with love. I wish you luck, Scorp. I hope this resonated with you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in August. Bye!